Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In a recent YouTube story, I asked you guys to go ahead and send me your questions so that I could do a Q&A video and answer, a few of them, or quite a few of them, depending on how many I got. So that's what we're doing today. It's just going to be a chat. I'm going to answer some of your questions. Today we're finally going to find out if I have the YouTube cachet to have people actually watch a Q&A video that doesn't have a specific topic title. So that's going to be really interesting. If you're someone who doesn't like just watching me talk, which I get, now's your warning. I'm not doing any demos in this video. We're just going to be answering questions. So that's it. Just talking. Okay, I'm going to refer to your questions here. I didn't memorize them. There are quite a few, so we're going to get through a few of them today. And it looks like I'm actually going to have to do another one of these at some point. So let's get started. I'll answer some of them, and yeah, we'll probably have another video like this if this one goes well. So first off, and I'm not going to call everyone out who makes a comment, I'm just going to read the comment. I've done a couple of kits where it's a paddle headstock that you have to cut to the shape yourself. In both cases, I've used a decent electric jigsaw with quality blades. We're getting some tear out issues here. So the long story short is you can't just cut out the headstock unless you're doing it with a template and a router. And even then, what you want to do is you want to cut close using your jigsaw or preferably a bandsaw, but it doesn't really matter. You want to cut close to your line with your saw, and then you need to either use, again, a router to get your final shape, for which you would need a template, or you want to sand down to that final shape unless you're using a very sharp chisel or something like that. So you can do some carving work with very sharp blades, but not a saw. A saw is always going to leave some tear out. It's always going to leave a bit of a mess. So that's not going to be your final finish. What I generally do is I get really close and then I use sandpaper or a sanding device to get right down to my final shape, or I'll use a sharp chisel if it's something with a straight edge. Hope that helps. Next. Oh, is a project ever really, you know what, I'm in over my head, let's get this professionally done instead, or is it DIY all the way? For example, Evertune installations, sparkle finishes, scale length switching, refrets, etc. Okay, so generally speaking, I think you can find information about a lot of this stuff online, and you just have to watch, look, see what the person is doing, and think, can I do that or not? Do I have the tools? Do I have the skills? Some stuff is harder than it looks. You've noticed a lot of the stuff that I do is fairly straightforward. So anything you're seeing me do, you can probably do, as long as you've got the right tool for it. Some stuff, not so much. So for me, it's okay to go get a professional to do some kinds of work. Not really so much on guitars. I usually do most of that myself, but like not changing the timing belt on my car. I don't know if that's really an answer. Anyway, I tried. Ooh, Tele or Strat, Les Paul or PRS? All of the above. Big fan of the PRS shape. I love Les Pauls as well. I like humbuckers, so those really appeal to me, those types of guitars. But I really like the feel of a Strat more than probably anything else. And obviously I love Teles. I've got like 5 of them behind me. I guess I'm indecisive. Tube or solid state? Tube, or at least something that sounds like a tube. This Boss Katana that I got from Solo Music Gear, that's a solid state, but it's got, like, it really changes sound with the amount of attack and everything, so it emulates a tube, and I love that amp. I'm not really smart enough to fix a tube amp, so yeah, I've got both in here. But yeah, tube. Favorite holiday destination? No idea. I really like Dublin. Dublin's crazy. What kit / finishing materials / hardware would you recommend to someone who has never done a DIY guitar before and probably won't do a second? Easy but effective. Okay, so easy. You probably want something like a Strat, something with a pick guard, because you can upgrade them so easily. You can change out the guard, you can change out the pickups very, very simply. You can get pre-wired kits that are like the whole deal and you only have to solder like one thing. Bolt-on neck is also I find them tougher to make, but easier for kits. Bolt-on necks are easier for kits. You don't have to worry about gluing something in and just not being able to fix it after. So something along those lines I'd say is probably a good place to start if you're doing a kit build. Also, are you going to start selling pick guards? Yes, I am going to start selling pick guards. That is coming soon. I'm in product development on it right now. Got several shapes and stuff designed. Just need to cut them. So we're getting started on that. All right, moving along here. Have you ever finished a guitar with just a couple coats of True Oil, light sanding, one final coat of oil, cure, and then buff with wax? No, not specifically, but I have done oil finishes with wax over them. I have done poly finishes with wax over them. Wax is a very interesting finish. You apply it, use a little bit of heat for most of them. And what are your thoughts? Well, I like it. It gives a nice rich tone. I find the feel a little bit sticky, which I actually appreciate on the body. I would never use it on a neck, but I like it. It's a nice finish. Any tips or tricks for finishing acoustic guitars? And would you do a series on one in the future? Yes, and I've done one. So I did a full custom, top paint job on a brand new Martin acoustic for someone. It's an airbrush job, not quite a classic finish, if you will, but an airbrush job. There is a series. It's an old one on my channel for that. On acoustics, it's very important to be careful about how you select your finish because it will affect how it sounds. You know, it might not make a huge difference, and you might actually like it using a non-classic finish, if you will, like a poly or something. It'll brighten it up probably, but it can dampen it a little bit too. So generally, acoustics are finished in thinner finishes like nitro or oil or shellac. So those are my tips. Be careful about your finish selection. To answer your other question, yes, I'm going to be doing an acoustic kit build actually very soon. I think it's second or third on the list right now. So it's coming up pretty quick, hopefully, and I'll show you guys how I do that. That'll be good. What's the best thing to use to apply a wipe-on poly? Well, you wipe it on with a cloth usually, but if you don't have a finish on your wood already and you just want just a kind of pure natural wipe-on poly look, I like to start with sandpaper. What that does is it creates a little bit of a slurry using some sawdust from the sandpaper and the oil, and it fills in the pores and creates a beautifully smooth finish. I like to do that with about 1,000 grit for the first couple coats, wipe off the excess, and then go in with the cloth and finish it off. On a scale from 1 to 10, how good are you at relicking guitars? I'm not great. 3, maybe? Depends on what kind of relic you want. I can light it on fire or drag it behind my car on a rope, but I'm not stellar at it. There are people who are just absolute artists about relicking guitars using blades and stuff. Yeah, I'm not great. Make a video talking about you a little bit. I guess that would be a different video. I assume you guys watch me for the guitars and painting and stuff. So if you want a video where I talk about me, let me know. I'm happy to do that, I guess. But I'm not going to do it if only one person's going to watch it. Brad, I'm new to this whole guitar build thing. I'm worried about the wiring. Is it hard to wire a guitar? It can be. There are some very interesting wiring schemes out there. I've got a couple weird custom wiring schemes behind me. Like this guy right here has 5 extra switches and a kill switch. I'm terrible at wiring. I find it to be one of the more difficult parts, but I think it's fairly straightforward for the most part. You know, as long as you know how a pot works, and you can get kits usually come partially pre-wired, or you can get fully pre-wired kits that only require soldering a couple things. The soldering itself isn't that difficult, so I'd say no. It's not that difficult to wire a guitar, really. What age did you get into guitar and why? 18. I didn't start playing guitar actually, well, I mean, I had a Walmart one when I was like 14 or 15 and I could play a little bit of Metallica, but I played piano and violin for years. And then I finally got into guitar when I was, 18, and I had enough money to just go buy one. And I did, and I started playing it. I took about 5 months of lessons. And then I was working in a manufacturing shop at the time, and I wanted to customize a thing because, hey, couldn't afford to customize a car. So here we are, a long time later. If you wanted to try and spray 2K in your garage, what precautions would you take? 2K is the reference for a catalyzed polyurethane clear coat like the Spray Max Clear or, you know, a full automotive polyurethane catalyzed clear. Very, very dangerous stuff, hardens quickly, sticks like crazy, gets all over everything, and will kill you. It's high in isocyanate. So what I would do, I would probably poly off a section of my garage using poly sheets, set up some nice lighting. It'd be nice to have ventilation, but really that can get pretty difficult. What I'd try to do is create more of a sealed space. I'd mist a little water in there to keep dust down, and I'd go in there in a full face respirator, long sleeves, the works, cover myself as much as possible, gloves and everything, and make sure that I'm protected. And then I'd spray. Your personal opinion for aspiring gear junkies. It says 2 of 2. I don't see comment 1 of 2. In my opinion, if you're an aspiring gear junkie, get a good job. Need to know what grits you use for sanding back wood grain filler or stain. So for sanding back filler, you're usually going to go about 220 grit. I like to go up to 320. Some people disagree with that. But yeah, I like to do something along those lines. Anywhere from 220 to 400, good. For sanding back stain, it depends on what you're putting over top of it. If you really want to sand it back and, you know, do another stain round, probably again 320, 400. If you're looking to go over that with just a thin coat of oil after, 600, maybe 800. Here's a good one. Is it worth it? Well, they're all good, but you know what I mean. Is it worth investing into a spray gun? I love building guitar kits and bodies. I just use spray cans. Is it a good idea to purchase a spray gun? Increase the quality of my paint. I have several spray guns. I love them. And I have several airbrushes and I love them. And it does increase the versatility. It lets you mix your own stuff. It lets you mix custom colors, all of that. But really, if you're good with a spray can, if you know how to use a spray can properly and you buy good quality spray cans, you can get a pretty high quality finish out of those. You can do a very good job. And they do allow you some versatility. We've certainly done some interesting spray can paint jobs on this channel, and there are many more to come. I got literally a list of ideas. So is it worth investing into a spray gun? It was for me. I use mine as often as I can, really. But it's not necessary. It's definitely, you can definitely get by without it. If you enjoy working with spray cans, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's do one more here. Next on the list. What is it you do for fun? Paint guitars, mostly. Paint guitars. I don't get to play them enough. I like painting other stuff too and making things. I used to play a lot of rugby for fun. That was kind of my thing, but you know, broke my nose a whole bunch of times, got a couple concussions, and frankly, I just don't have time anymore. So yeah, that was what I did for fun. What else do I don't know. I read sometimes, and you know, I spend a little bit of time doing, anyway, I think you get the picture. Yeah, that's about it. Have beers with my friends, complain about stuff. What does anybody do for fun, really? All right, guys, that's it for this one. I think we're going to have to do another one of these. This video is probably getting pretty long at this point. So as always, thanks for watching. Thank you for your questions. If you have any more, drop them in the comment section below, or remember to check out those YouTube stories because I'll probably post about the next round. I'm going to hang on to the ones that I have from this round, hopefully. I've screenshotted a few of them, and we'll catch some of those in the next time. So if I missed your question, well, I'm going to try and get to it. Thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and I would appreciate it if you subscribed, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.